Let's talk about a mistake almost everyone makes, even people who are good with money. It doesn't start with bad habits. It doesn't start with irresponsibility. It doesn't start with reckless decisions. It starts with success. You earn more. You get promoted. You land better clients. Your income increases. And slowly, quietly, your lifestyle follows. Not all at once, not dramatically, just enough to feel like progress. A slightly better apartment, a few more conveniences, less saying no, more saying, I deserve this. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people stay financially stuck, no matter how much they earn. Most people think the problem is not earning enough. They think, if I just made more money, everything would be easier. But for many people, the real problem is that every increase in income comes with an increase in expenses, so nothing actually changes. The numbers get bigger, but the pressure stays the same. Let's be honest. When your income goes up, it feels reasonable to upgrade your life. A nicer place, better food, more comfort, fewer inconveniences. After all, what was the point of working harder if nothing improves? And that logic makes sense. That's why this trap is so powerful. Lifestyle inflation doesn't feel like a mistake, it feels like a reward. You're not being reckless, you're not overspending wildly, you're just leveling up. But here's what most people don't realize. Every upgrade you accept today becomes tomorrow's baseline. And once something becomes normal, losing it feels painful. So you don't just raise your lifestyle, you lock it in. That's the trap. At first, the changes are small. You stop checking prices as closely. You eat out more often. You choose convenience over cost. You upgrade things sooner than you used to. Nothing extreme, nothing that feels irresponsible. But over time, these small upgrades stack. And suddenly, your higher income feels just as tight as your old one. This is why people say things like, I don't know where my money goes. It's not disappearing, it's maintaining a lifestyle that quietly grew alongside your income. Lifestyle inflation doesn't show up as a single bad decision, it shows up as a pattern. Each decision makes sense on its own. A better phone, a newer car, more subscriptions, more comfort, more ease. But together, they consume the margin that could have changed your future. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and margin is where freedom lives. Savings, investments, options, peace of mind. Lifestyle inflation quietly removes that gap, not by force, but by permission. Another reason this trap is so common is social comparison. When your income rises, your environment often changes. New coworkers, new social circles, new expectations. And without realizing it, your reference point shifts. What once felt like luxury now feels normal. What once felt expensive now feels justified. You're not trying to impress anyone, you're just trying to belong. But belonging is expensive. And comparison doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your future. It only cares about appearances. Here's what most people miss. Lifestyle inflation doesn't just affect your money, it affects your psychology. When your expenses rise with your income, you stay dependent on your paycheck. Even if you earn more, you feel just as vulnerable. You can't afford to slow down. You can't afford to take risks. You can't afford to make bold choices because your lifestyle depends on constant income. That creates pressure, and pressure changes how you think. You start making decisions based on fear instead of intention. You stay in jobs you don't enjoy. You delay plans you care about. You avoid uncertainty. Not because you're lazy, but because your lifestyle requires stability. This is why some high earners feel more stressed than people who earn less. They have more to maintain, more obligations, more expectations, more to lose. And the worst part? They did everything right. They worked hard, they progressed, they improved their situation. But improvement without intention turns into entrapment. Lifestyle inflation is sneaky because it happens automatically. No one tells you to inflate your life. No one sits you down and says, "Hey, you should spend more now." It just feels natural. But what feels natural isn't always helpful. Here's a powerful shift most people never make. They upgrade their lifestyle before upgrading their financial foundation. They change how they live before changing how secure they are, so their income grows but their future doesn't. Imagine if instead of upgrading everything immediately, you paused, not forever, just long enough to let the gap grow. That gap, the difference between your old lifestyle and your new income, is where real progress happens. That's where savings build. That's where investments start working. That's where options appear. Think of it this way. If your salary jumps by $10,000 a year and you immediately spend $9,500 of it, you're left with almost nothing. Your lifestyle feels better, but your financial future hasn't moved. And lifestyle inflation convinces you that you deserve everything now, and now is expensive. This doesn't mean never enjoying your money. It means choosing upgrades intentionally instead of automatically. There's a huge difference. Intentional upgrades come from strength. Automatic upgrades come from habit. People who escape the lifestyle inflation trap don't look flashy. They often look ordinary. They keep expenses stable even as income rises. They delay gratification on purpose. They let their money grow quietly. And over time, something interesting happens. Their stress decreases, their options increase, their confidence grows. Not because they live less, but because they control more. True wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much freedom your money creates. And freedom doesn't come from upgrades. It comes from margin. Here's a question worth sitting with. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your life actually change, or would it just get more expensive? That answer reveals everything. Because if every increase gets absorbed, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. Lifestyle inflation doesn't ruin people overnight. It keeps them comfortable enough to never question their direction. And comfort can be more dangerous than struggle. Struggle forces change. Comfort encourages repetition. To illustrate, imagine two friends. Alex earns $50,000 a year and lives simply. Sam earns $80,000 and has already upgraded their lifestyle. One loses a client. Alex adjusts and continues forward. Sam feels the pressure immediately. Stress rises, anxiety rises. Suddenly, income feels fragile, even though they earn more. Comfort can disguise fragility. The goal isn't to live small forever. The goal is to grow your income without chaining it to your expenses, to let your money work for you before you ask it to entertain you. To build security first, then enjoy upgrades from a place of peace. Because the calm people are chasing through lifestyle upgrades comes from knowing they're not trapped, that they have choices, that their future isn't already booked. And that's what real financial progress feels like. Quiet, stable, intentional, not flashy. If this made you rethink how normal lifestyle upgrades really are, you're already ahead of most people. Subscribe. This channel breaks down money psychology, habits, and the quiet decisions that shape long-term wealth. No hype, no shortcuts, just clarity.